Yeah, I'd be glad to test this for you. Okay, so we're going to do a cold test here right off the bat. You can see the actual process I'm going to use. And yeah, here we go. So I've downloaded the mod. I went ahead and downloaded the mod that you linked just to double check. Here is the mod, and the file is over here. Let me hunt the file up. I gotta find the right keyboard shortcut. So here's the file I just downloaded for recent downloads, and it is over here. Okay. So when I'm gonna do, so I did a check install to take a look and see what files exist in the package. I can see I'm going to rename EquipSettler to EquipSettlers. So I need to verify that is correct. The any file is not plural. So I'm going to guess that your plugin, your C++ plugin, it's looking for without loading the plugin up and doing a search, doing a hex edit search for EquipSettler any. I don't have to add an S to that. And the reason I was thinking that is sometimes mod managers might, or not mod manager, but like let's say MCM might require the same name as the plugin, but instead it drops the file extension and then looks for any. Okay. And so let's go ahead and open this location, and then let's get into the data folder, F4SE plugins. All right, let's rename this to Settlers. So let's do a rename here. Right. Okay, so we're good there. Version of the bin is fine. I've got that one loaded, so let's go back in. Let's do I think is it F9? There we go. Let's see if that cleared the cache. All right, let's do a check install. Okay, good. Okay, the any is brand new. All right, so we're just gonna do a full install here. It's gonna replace everything, hopefully. Let's see. We don't want the uninstall report. It copied the file, and everything else is replaced. So we're good. Okay, so new package installed. All right, let's fire off the game. And make sure we're still going here. I had to clear off some space. I need to change the target directory for all these videos because it's basically on my system drive, and that's good. It fills up. It fills up quick. All right, so here we go. Let's get into this. I'm gonna go back to. We're gonna use Tim Pines Bluff. I do have a trunk there, so I'm going to scrap that trunk, scrap the terminal. If I haven't already done so, I'm going to scrap it. And that way, when I build a new trunk, it'll trigger the new scripts. Now, I am doing, so I did a direct inline replace. So it's going to replace, if any of the scripts are currently running, if I have a trunk there and any of the scripts are currently loaded, it's going to replace those scripts. So I'm hoping that, there will be a loaded script and a brand new script. So hopefully, even if that disconnects as an orphan script, that's fine, because this game save is not that important to me. It's just kind of like something I use to test things, and I just kind of use it to relax. So if the game save gets baked, we're good. All right, so let's go to Hangman's Alley. Let's do that. First thing I want to do, though, is let's turn off God Rays here. All right, so let's do a map. Let's do workshops, and let's go to Hangman's Alley. Oh, not Hangman's Alley. What am I thinking? I apologize. I got another test I was doing, so I got it confused. I need to go to Tim Pines Bluff. That's what I get for not thinking. I don't know how early it is with you. It's about 7. It's almost 8 o'clock. I'm definitely not a morning person. I'm more of an afternoon, evening person. I seem to get a lot more done than early morning. Early morning is usually drinking coffee and staring at a wall. Oh man. All right, let's try this one more time. Let's go to Workshops. Hopefully they won't bring a whole bunch of stuff. Let's go to 10 Pines Bluff. Fast travel. Yeah, I literally could have used it there. That would be fine. But I don't know if I have any settlers there. And also Hangman's Alley is what it's. I need to make sure there's no settlers there because I'm going to do a completely different test using something else here shortly. And that is going to be the location, the target of the test. Okay, yeah, we do have something here. So let's get this out of the way first so this doesn't come back to haunt us. Okay, good old advanced needs 76. Alright, let's eat some cooked bug. In real life, probably not a good idea. Alright, let's see. Alright, let's go into workshop mode, and we're going to take this terminal out. We do have some settlers here, so let's scrap. Let's replace that, and let's put that back in the workshop, okay? So, I don't think I need to go out of workshop mode. So, I think it was furniture mods. No, not that. It was over here. Furniture. I just don't think it's there. No, not that. It was over here, I thought. It was furniture. It was containers. Then mods. There we go. All right. Yeah, you can definitely see it's early. Okay, so we got... There's our trunk. Okay, so trunk is placed. Solar equipment trunk. That's good. Then we need to do a terminal. So we're going to do power. No, this was decorations. Yeah, I remember that. It was decorations. Something miscellaneous. I think it was over here. It's over here. I think it was decorations. Yeah, terminals. Diamond City Radio. Jukeboxes. Terminals, right? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of collision. And let's set this puppy up here. Alright, we got it. Okay, got that. Alright, let's look at the trunk here real quick. So we've activated the trunk. I should still have a tape in my inventory. So let's go in and let's do an R. Let's put in the controller tape. Okay, the trunk is unlocked. We're on 10 seconds. That's perfect. Let's go ahead and max the settlement size out. There is no filter, so that's good. All that's going to stay the same. Now we need to put some stuff in here. Okay, let's see what I have. Let's see if I have anything. I don't have nothing. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Let's do help. Let's do combat. And then let's do 4 armo. Okay, so we got a helmet and a left leg. So it looks like it's 11D3C5. Let's do a player add item 11D3C5. Let's put 3 of them in here. Okay. All right. So we got that. So let's go ahead and move. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we're going to do, and I'm just going to leave these in here. So let's do leather real quick. Let's go ahead and make sure we have different armor types. Torso is fine. Let's see, I don't want anything. I need to make sure it's vanilla. Alright, so let's just, left arm is fine. So 7B9C7. So I want 7B9C7. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that in. Oh, let's get out of this. Let's see, I want heavy. Let's add that in. Alright, so there's going to be the armor. I haven't put the weapons in there yet. So that's in there. And let's see what happens. Okay, everything is still there. Alright, so we're going to let it cycle. My settlers are here. There's the settlers. So they should be within the radius. They are named settler. We should have made it to the 10 cycle. Alright, so let's see if any of them... he's a visitor, so that won't count. So let's see if... Let's take a look at her inventory. Right, let's do a show inventory. Okay, so they still have the Eli's armor, but I don't see any additional armor. We're going to try to strip it off here in a minute. And let's take a look at this person. That's a caravan guard visitor. Okay, where's the other person? Where'd they mill off to? There's one more person. Should be here. Alright, where did you go? Let's see. Alright, let's do this. There he is. He's over here. Buried beneath grass. Okay, so there's our other settler. And let's look at show inventory. Okay, so he's got ammo. And he still... Okay, so it did... Okay, so that... Okay, so it looks like that it didn't replace... Because I put 3 combat armor pieces and I put 3 leather pieces. So there's 3 combat armor pieces still in here, and there's 3 leather pieces still in here. And to double check that, let's go back and take a look. Yeah, I put 3 of each. So okay, so I'm assuming that the... Okay, so that was that cycle. So let's go in and just take another look here. Let's do an R. Let's put our tape back in. And let's take a look at how it's unlocked. Filter is off. So now let's change the filter. Let's do the actor. Or let's change the filter instead of settler filter. All right, let's see what the filter is set to. It's not guards. So let's change it and let's test the actual filtering, which would probably relate to a conditional check. Okay, so we're set to workers. These should be workers. Let's give it another 10 seconds. And just to make sure that triggers, what we're going to do is let's go ahead and manually change that. Let's make sure we test the manual change here. Let's go in and set the update interval to 10 seconds. So that should trigger that. Let's make sure all of that is done. And we're going to let these things scream away here. Give it about 10 seconds.
You hear about that farm run by ghouls?
Yes, I have, many times. Alright, let's see. Let's take a look. I don't think she has anything on it. Okay, show her inventory. She has nothing there. And then let's take a look at him. Okay, he has nothing there. Alright, now let's strip the gear. So let's do a final thing. Let's try and strip their gear off. Now, I don't know if it... Well, I don't want to do it that way. Now, I don't know if it looks for... Let me save this just in case we crash. And that way we have a point to go back to. I don't know if... I don't know how your code is, so I don't know if it matters what kind of gear they have, if it only grabs what's equipped, or anything that's marked as an ARMO record, an ARMO. Alright, so let's do... let me load this holotape up. And let's go to... Let's reset. Okay, let's do that. Alright, let's take a look. Okay, everything is still here. Alright, so, alright, now I'm gonna leave this here. Let me put this back on. It'll reset when I reload it. Alright, so let's save this. Now let me go ahead and I made some mods to my program, so hopefully it will work. If not, I can actually get a package put together for you manually. Alright, so let's dock this mess back. I wish it wouldn't do that. That's a complete mess. Alright, so I added a new thing in, which is buildable packages. I've got EquipSettlers as a buildable package. We're going to look at the files. So I'm including the EquipSettlers log, the F4SE log, and the current Papyrus log. So all of that should be included. So we should be able to do build package, and over here I should get, if it works, I should get a package, which I do not see. That is something I haven't tested, so yeah, that technically didn't work. Alright, so that being said, God, maybe it's something simple. I'm going to take a look at that next. Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay, so I did change it. Alright, so what we need to do is I need to build this package. So what I want to do is let's go over to... Let me see, I need to go over to F4SE. I need to go to here. Let's go to F4SE. All right, here we go. So let me copy F4SE log, right? Let me do a copy, and let's paste it over here. Let's do a paste. All right, and then let me zip this. Let's do because that's what the application was supposed to do. It was supposed to do this, and we want to rename it to EquipSetters Test. So it probably somehow there's some check I put in there which killed it before it killed it before it even made it that far. All right, so there's our zip file. Okay, so F4SE log, we got that one. Let's go ahead and get the CX. Let's get EquipSetters CX. We're gonna need that one. Yeah, and we'll take a look at it. And then we have Papyrus. We're gonna need the Papyrus. So it's logs, script. Let's grab Papyrus 0. We want to grab that one and drop that one in there as well. Whoops, not there. We got to put it in here. Okay, so we have Papyrus 0. Okay, that's good. All right, so what we can do, though, is take a look, and let me see if it's something I have done here. So, other than a function that doesn't work. All right, let's see. Let's go over here and do logs. No, I don't want to do that. All right, so I don't see any errors in the log, so let's open the log up and let's see what we have. Okay, it says okay, so here's the output I've included. It looks like it's got a lot of really good information in there. Good good debugging text. Okay, so we got that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to you, and then I'm going to take a look at my program real quick, and that way I make it easier to build this package just with one click, and I can trace in my program and see what condition is incorrect. And then, like, again, if you have another one, throw it up. After I do my coding, I'm gonna spin off and test something else real quick. I'm trying to track down a really weird anomaly that's happening when I import settlements with transfer settlements. I'm gonna take a look at that and see if I can try a different approach to it using a different import object mod. I was gonna say script or plugin, but it's actually a mod, and see if I have the same. See if I can isolate the issue to transfer settlements. Okay, so you're good. When you're ready, throw up another one, and I will definitely give it a test for you.